in everything that Bob does, very competitive. So, you know, everything him really gave it 110%.
Just seated in Mount Zion, it rules all creation.
He had a passion. Everything I did with a ball, he would try to do it.
He just didn't play for the fun of it, you know. It was part of the process, you know. Because before he writes a song, you burn a spliff, then you go run so you can lively up yourself, and then you get more inspired so the lyrics can come out.
But tell the truth, you like play everywhere. Anywhere it is possible, you know.
A lot of people claim they like reggae, but what they really mean is that they like Bob Marley, or more accurately, they like Bob Marley Legend, a best-of album that's achieved the rare status of being an album everyone has. While the songs on Legend have solely been co-opted and overplayed by douchebags and idiots, there's a reason why Marley's music has crossed over to virtually every nation and demographic imaginable, transcended the genre of reggae, and still manages to get you grooving even if you're hearing the songs for the millionth time. At 2.5 hours long, Kevin MacDonald's documentary, Marley, appears to be the definitive movie on the reggae superstar, examining every aspect of the man, his roots, and the music he introduced to the world, and is bound to be illuminating for both hardcore fans and the most casual reggae posers, and just in time for 420. While legal disputes among Marley's relatives, including 10 children from 7 different mothers, have kept previous projects on hold, it seems that the stars finally aligned, and Marley is the reward, featuring interviews with Marley's wife, girlfriends, kids, friends, family, and former bandmates, as well as the use of Marley's complete music catalog in a trove of rare and never-before-seen photos and footage. The film starts with Marley's childhood growing up poor in 9 Mile and Kingston, Jamaica, starting with a fact I'm shocked I didn't know, that Marley's father was a white British military man Marley never really knew. Marley dropped out of school at 14 to be a musician, and it's fascinating to hear Marley's early pre-reggae recordings. There are interviews with musicians and producers who worked with Marley, as well as lessons in Jamaica's music scene and the origins of reggae, which was another surprise since one usually thinks of reggae as a distinctly Jamaican music, but it actually has its roots in early ska and American R&B. Nor did I know that Marley lived for a time in Delaware with his mom. Marley's conversion to the Rastafari religion figures heavily in his growth as a musician and a man, shaping the beliefs that he would spread through his music. While Rastafari is known for its use of marijuana for spiritual reasons, and Marley is one of the world's most famous weed smokers, he never comes across as a stoner, but instead is extremely disciplined, hardworking, health-conscious, and very serious about his religious beliefs. Marley and his band, the Wailers, would go on to tour the world, with Marley considered the first international superstar from a third world nation. The film documents their meteoric success with footage of some of their biggest and most significant shows. But the film also shows Marley as a person who loved soccer and exercise, shared his wealth with fellow Jamaicans in need, and stood up for freedom fighters everywhere, holding more militant views than he's often credited with, making him a hero to indigenous and oppressed peoples around the world. At the same time, the film doesn't shy away from Marley's faults, including his serial infidelity, which his wife seemed to know about and tolerate, and how the crew surrounding him and his focus on music often kept his children at a distance. Naturally, Marley covers just about everything you could want in its 2.5 hours, including his death from cancer at the young age of 36. But despite the film's length, it never felt long, which makes sense since Marley led a fascinating life, and his impact on music and world culture really can't be overstated. While I'm sure there will be some Marley fans who will wish there was more about a certain aspect of his life, Marley is about as comprehensive and definitive a Bob Marley documentary as you could ever want or are likely to ever get, with plenty of new interviews and rare footage to satisfy even the most knowledgeable fans. There's so much in this film that I wouldn't mind seeing it again, and it even got me to check out some of Marley's non-legend albums, which is no small feat for a non-reggae listener. So check out Marley, and if you feel like smoking herb while you watch, you can view Marley with the comfort of your own bong on video on demand. I'm Jonathan Kim, and this is a ReThink Review.